Om Shanti. This is the Sakar MURLI of the 12th of December, 2014. Follow God's instructions. Make effort well and claim your inheritance. Do not become defeated by Maya and human instructions. What are the main differences between Ishwariya Mat, Daivi Mat and Manushya Mat? In the answer, Baba says, by following God's instructions, you children return to your home and you then claim a high status in the new world. By following divine directions, you remain constantly happy because you also received those directions from the Father at this time. However, you still continue to come down, the one who teaches you. Om Shanti. The Father has explained the meaning of I, the soul, am an embodiment of peace. When you say Om Shanti, you souls remember your home. I, the soul, am an embodiment of peace. Then, when the soul receives organs, he becomes talky. And when you come down here, you become talky. So the Father says, I also come into talky in order. This study is spiritual, whereas all other studies are physical. They consider themselves to be bodies. None of them would say, I, the soul, am listening through these ears. You children now understand that the Father is the purifier. He comes and explains how he comes. I do not enter a womb like you do. I enter this one. No question can arise about this. This one is my chariot, and he is also called the mother. The biggest river is the Brahmaputra, and so this one is the biggest river. It is not a question of water. This is the soul's. I am your Father. I also speak in the same way that you speak. My part is at the very Lakshmi and Narayan like this. You cannot say that it was anyone other than God. Only the unlimited Father makes you into the masters of heaven. The Father alone is the ocean of knowledge. He says, I am the living seed of the human world tree. I know its beginning, middle, and end. I am the truth and the living seed. Rama is 5,000 years. Whatever time passes, it continues to decrease from 5,000 years. You understand that you were at first deities, and that you then gradually went into the warrior clan. All of these secrets are in your intellects. Therefore, you should continue to think about them. When we came down in the beginning to play our parts, we were deities and we ruled for 1250 years. Time continues to pass by. It is not a question of hundreds of thousands of years. No one can think about anything which is hundreds of thousands of years. You children understand how you were those deities, and that year after year passed as you continue to play your parts, and how many years have now passed. Gradually, your happiness continues to decrease. Everything passes through the stages of Sato Pradhan, Sato, Rajo, and Tamo. Everything definitely becomes old. This is a matter of the unlimited. Let your intellects imbibe all of these aspects very well, and then explain to others. Not everyone can be the same. They must surely explain in different ways. The easiest thing to explain is the cycle. The drama and the tree are the two main pictures. It is called the Kalp tree. No one knows what the duration of the cycle is. Human beings have many different opinions. One would say one thing, and another would say something else. You have now understood the many different opinions of human beings, and you have also understood the directions of the one God. You will not be able to return there by following anyone else's instructions, whether human directions or divine directions. Whilst following divine directions, you come down because your degrees continue to decrease. You also come down whilst following devilish directions. However, there is happiness in following divine directions, whereas there is sorrow in following the directions of human beings. Divine instructions are also given to you by the Father at this time. This is why you remain happy. The unlimited Father comes here from far away. People go abroad in order to earn an income. When they have accumulated a lot of money, they return. The Father says, I also bring many treasures for you children, because I know that I had given you a great deal of wealth and that you lost it all. I only tell these things to you, the ones who lost the wealth in practice. You remember the things of 5,000 years, do you not? You say, Yes, Baba. We met you 5,000 years ago, and you gave us our inheritance. You are now aware that you definitely claimed your unlimited inheritance from the unlimited Father. Baba, we claimed our inheritance of the sovereignty of the new world from you. Okay, so make effort again. Do not say, Baba, an evil spirit of Maya has defeated me. It is only after becoming body conscious that you are defeated by Maya. You become greedy and you accept bribes. A desperate situation is a different matter. Baba knows that without becoming greedy, you cannot fill your stomach. It doesn't matter. You have to eat, but you must not get caught up in that. Otherwise, it will be you who has to experience sorrow. You acquire money and become happy, be responsible for you. When someone commits a crime, he has to go to jail. There are no jails, etc. there. Therefore, according to the drama plan, you will receive an inheritance for 21 births, as you did in the previous cycle. A whole kingdom is being created. There are wealthy subjects and poor subjects. But there is no sorrow there. The Father guarantees this. Not everyone can become the same. All types are needed in the Sun and Moon dynasty kingdoms. You children know how the Father gives you the sovereignty of the world, and then how you come down. You remember this, do you not? You remember your study at school, do you not? Here too, the Father reminds you that no one else in the entire world can teach you this spiritual study. Manmana Bhav is also mentioned in the Gita. This is called the great mantra, the mantra that disciplines the mind. It is the mantra that enables you to conquer Maya. Those who conquer Maya conquer the world. Maya Jeet, so Jagat Jeet. It is the 5 vices that are called Maya. The picture of Ravan is absolutely clear. There are 5 vices in women and 5 vices in men. Through these, you become like a donkey. That is why a donkey's head is shown for Ravan's head. You now understand that without knowledge, you are also like that. The Father sits here and teaches you in a very entertaining way. He is the supreme teacher. Whatever we learn from him, we then tell others. Firstly, You have to enable them to have faith in the one who is teaching you. Tell them, the Father has explained this to us. So now, whether you believe it or not, is up to you. He is the unlimited Father. It is by following Srimad that you become elevated. Therefore, you will also definitely need an elevated new world. You now understand that you're sitting in the world of rubbish. No one else can understand it. There, in paradise, you remain constantly happy, whereas people here are very unhappy in hell. You can call it hell or the river of poison. This old world is dirty. You can now feel the contrast between the golden age, heaven, and the iron age, hell. Heaven is called the wonder of the world. The silver age is not called that. Some people are so happy living in this dirty world. A buzzing moth buzzes around dirty insects and makes them like herself. You were also lying in the rubbish. I came and changed you with a double crown, and so you should have so much happiness. You should also make full effort. The unlimited Father, I come and rescue you from that bog and take you to heaven. You have heard the name heaven. Heaven does not exist now. There are only pictures of it. The masters of heaven were so wealthy. On the path of devotion, although you went to a temple every day, you did not have this knowledge. You now understand that the original eternal deity religion existed in Bharat. No one knows when it was their kingdom. Instead of calling it the deity kingdom, instead of calling it the deity religion, they call it the Hindu religion. In the beginning, the president of the Hindu Mahasabha came. He said, "We are vicious and devilish. How can we call ourselves deities?" We said, "Okay, come and we will explain to you that the deity religion is once again being established. We will make you into the masters of heaven. Sit and learn." He said, "Dadaji, I don't have the time." How could he become a deity if he didn't have the time? This is a study. It was not in that poor man's fortune. He died. It would not even be said that he will become a subject. No, he just came along because he had heard that the knowledge of how to become pure is being given here. However, he cannot come to heaven. He will again come into the Hindu religion. You children understand that Maya is very powerful. She makes you make one mistake or another. If you perform any type of sin, you have to tell the Father about it with an honest heart. Sins continue to take place in the world of Ravan. They say, "We have been sinners for many births." Who said this? Souls say this in front of the Father or the images of deities. You now feel that you truly were sinners for many births. You have definitely been committing sin in the kingdom of Ravan. You are not able to speak of the sins of your many births, but you are able to speak of your sins of this birth. By telling Baba, you will become light. You have to tell the surgeon about your sickness, that you beat so-and-so, or that you stole something. You are not ashamed to relate these things, but you are ashamed to speak about lust. If you become too ashamed to speak up to the surgeon, how would your sickness be removed? Your conscience will continue to bite you, and you will not be able to remember the Father. By telling him the truth, you will be able to remember him. The Father says I, the surgeon, give you so much medicine that you will remain constantly pure. By telling the surgeon, you become light. Some take initiative and write, Baba, I have committed sins for many births. You become sinful souls in the world of sinful souls. The Father now says, Children, you must no longer have any give and take with sinful souls. The true Satguru is the Father, the immortal image. He never comes into the cycle of birth and death. Those people have given that throne the name, the immortal throne. But they don't understand the meaning of that. The Father has explained that this is the throne of the soul. Being here, in the forehead, feels right. A tilak is also applied here. Originally, a tilak of a small dot was applied. You now have to apply the tilak to yourself. You have to continue to remember the Father. Those who do a great deal of service will become great emperors. You do not have to study any study of the old world in the new world. Therefore, you have to pay attention to such an elevated study. Even while sitting here, some of you keep your intellect's yoga very good, whereas others let their intellect would have intoxication, that they stayed in remembrance of Baba for this long. No one can write that they had yoga for more than 15 minutes. The intellect wanders here and there. If everyone were to have constant remembrance, they would all attain their karmatit stage. The Father explains so many sweet and lovely aspects to you. No other guru has taught in this way. It would not be only one who learns from a guru. Thousands would learn from a guru. You learned so much from the Satguru. This is the mantra to control Maya. The 5 vices are called Maya. Wealth is called prosperity. You would say that Lakshmi and Narayan have a great deal of wealth. Lakshmi and Narayan can never be called the mother and father. Adi Dev and Adi Devi are called the world father and world mother. Imperishable jewels of knowledge. People go to Amba with many desires, whereas they go to Lakshmi for only wealth, not for anything else. Therefore, which one is greater? No one knows what they receive from Amba and what they receive from Lakshmi. They only ask for wealth from Lakshmi. You receive everything from Amba. Amba is more famous because the mothers have had to tolerate a great deal of sorrow. Therefore, the mothers are more famous. Acha, the Father still says, remember the Father and you will become pure. Remember the cycle and imbibe divine virtues. Make men now have the same aim and objective. This is the true story of becoming Narayan from an ordinary man. Acha, to the sweetest, beloved, long lost and now found children, love, remembrance and good morning from the mother, the father, Bap Dada. The spiritual father says namaste to the spiritual children, and the spiritual children say namaste to the spiritual father. Essence for dharana. The first point is, never hide your sickness from the surgeon. Save yourself from the evil spirits of Maya. You definitely have to do service in order to apply the tilak of sovereignty to yourself. The second point is, become wealthy by filling yourself with the imperishable jewels of knowledge. Do not now have any give and take with sinful souls. Pay full attention to this study. The blessing is, may you have the fortune of happiness and constantly eat and share the nourishment of happiness in Brahmin life. May you have the fortune of happiness. May you be Khush Naseeb and constantly eat and share the nourishment of happiness, the Khushi ki Khurak in Brahmin life. The explanation is, no one in this world can have the fortune of happiness that you Brahmins have, because all of you receive Bap Dada's heart throne in this life itself. You constantly eat the nourishment of happiness and share that happiness. At this time, you're carefree emperors. There cannot be such a carefree life at any time in the whole cycle other than at this time. You will be carefree in the golden age, but you won't have any knowledge there. At this time, you have knowledge, and this is why it emerges in your heart. No one has the fortune of happiness that I have. The slogan is, those who are self-sovereigns at the conference age claim a right to the kingdom of the world in the future. Those who are self-sovereigns, those who are Swarajya Adhikari at the confluence age claim a right to the kingdom of the world in the future, claim a right to Vishwa Rajya Adhikari in the future. Om Shanti.